In today's lecture, we are going to discuss line graph. The basic purpose of line graph is to show patterns over a period of time. Let me spell it out. Show pattern or show trends over time. Not specifically time, you can also use with some other phenomena as well, but most of the time we use it with how things happen, how things evolve over a period of time. You might be very much familiar with the graph, with the line chart of balls and runs in cricket match. So as the match progresses, we know that how much a team has scored. So we see a pattern, and we can directly compare the scores of two teams using a line chart, using two series of the teams' scores at the same time. So constructing this specific graph is pretty much straightforward. It is just like any other drawing any other graph in Excel. Remember yesterday we discussed that if the first column has numeric values, we rather skip it from the selection and we add this specific column to the graph later on. So let's start with the line chart of a single country. So I'm selecting just Pakistan. You can select both of them, but let's say that we want to plot the GDP of Pakistan over a period of time in this first exercise. So I'm going to insert, and then in the charts tab I'm coming down to line. So these are some of the patterns which you can use. So I'm going with the first one, basic line chart. And since I haven't selected the first column, so the labels are automatically added as 1, 2, 3. Let's change these labels. So right click and select data, and then on the right window, horizontal axis labels, I'm clicking on that and I'll select these labels. So we have a basic line chart. The GDP of Pakistan, as you can see, it has some ups and downs, but generally it is going up. If you have more than one data series, let me delete this chart again. You can select both of them at once. So if I select both of these at once and I go to line chart and then select both of these, so you can see that now we have the GDP of two countries, how they evolve over a period of time, and in a similar fashion we can add the labels of which are given in the first column. So our line chart is ready, and each specific GDP is represented by a unique color. So no matter how many charts, how many data series are there, you select all of them. You can also select the first one if the first one doesn't have numeric values. If it has numeric values, then we use the trick of selecting the other columns, leaving out the first one, and then we add the first one later on. So this is how we construct a line chart, and I hope you remember how to modify the axes and the labels in case you need a refresher. So you just click inside the chart and it activates a chart design menu and format menu. In the chart design menu, we have quick layouts. In the quick layouts, um, you can select any of these. So if I want to add the chart title and the x-axis labels, so I'll go for this one. But if I need both the axis, the y and the other axes, so I can go for this one. For example, here I can now change the title. I can type GDP of countries, and similarly I can now change the y axis label GDP in billions. So whatever, now we have the chart ready. So I would like that you have some practice and then we can move forward. Thank you. So our next chart is scatter. Scatter is used to show relationship between variables. So let me spell it, scatter. We use a scatter graph to show relationship between two variables. So let's use the example of quantity demanded and price. According to the law of demand, when the price of a commodity increases, the quantity demanded will decrease. And it is also true, when the price decreases, the quantity demanded should increase. So let's use a hypothetical example. We start with the base case of 200 price. At this level, the quantity demanded is 500 units. And according to the law of demand, if we increase the price to 240, the quantity demanded should decrease from 500 to 440. Similarly, if we increase it further, the quantity demanded should decrease. And if we decrease the price to 190, we would expect that the quantity demanded increases to 550. In these two variables, we can easily identify which variable responds to which one. So in this case, our dependent variable or response variable is quantity demanded. So we can call it the y variable, and we can call the price as the x variable. And if you remember the 2 points that we had discussed yesterday, let me show those 2 points to you. First column of the data is always the x-axis. In order to plot this specific data correctly, what we need to do? We need to put the x-axis in the first column. So I would take this column here. Why this is necessary? This is necessary because quantity demanded is the response variable. It's a y variable in the regression terminology. So it should be put in the second column. And Excel consider data in the first column as the x-axis. So I have put price in the first column and quantity demanded in the second column. And once you have this set up, it doesn't matter whether it is in column A, B, C, but the data should be structured such that the data starts with the x variable and then the y variable. Since quantity demanded is the response variable, it's a dependent variable, so we have put it after the price. So now I select both these variables together, and I go to insert and click on the scatter. So if you cannot see scatter, yes, it is visible in the first menu. So we have a scatter, and here we go. So since we have less data points and we have the chart like this, but we can add more data points so that the chart looks like it's a falling line, straight line that falls, and it shows a negative relationship between the quantity demanded and the price. So let's start with some data set. So assume that the price is 10, let's say the quantity demanded is 1000. As we increase the price to 20, the quantity demanded decreases to 800, 30, 700, 40, 600, 500, 400, 300, 200, and 100. And let's increase it in a similar fashion. So since it's a series, we can extend it like this. Okay, and now let's draw the scatter graph again. Insert, we have scatter, and now we have a famous demand curve that slopes downward. As we increase the price, the quantity demanded decreases. And we will modify the chart type so that we have proper axis labels. So I go to design menu, and here we have a better looking chart. Okay, so now over here, this is quantity, and over here we have price. And you can change the chart title as love demand or whatever you would like to call it. So I'll give you some time to have practice on this, and we will continue with our next chart. Okay, the convention in economics is to put the price on the y-axis and quantity demanded on the x-axis. So if you would like to go by that convention, we would just change the order of the columns. So if I want to redraw this specific scatter graph according to what is being followed in the economics field, I would just put price in the second column. So that would draw the law of demand just like we see in the economics books. So now I put the quantity demanded in the first column and price in the second column. And now I go to again to insert and scatter. So now you see that the quantity demanded is on the x-axis and price is on the y-axis. So let's quickly add some labels to the graph. Yes, so this is our now quantity, and here we have price. Okay, so let's quickly recall where do we use the scatter graph. Scatter graph is to show relationship between two variables. So here the two variables are quantity and price, and it can quickly show you how the two variables are related. Since the line is dropping, it's a negative relationship between the two variables, and the line is pretty much straightforward, so it's a linear relationship. Let's go to our last graph for this specific lecture, for this specific series. This graph we call the combo or combination graph. So combo, this is what is called in the Excel, but it is actually a combination of two graphs. So this is the combination of two graphs to show two variables. For example, we would like to know how our sales have changed over the period of time, and at the same time we would like to have a trend in the profit margin. So from 2001 to 2006 we have a series of revenues, and then we also have the profit margin in each year. Remember, the profit margin is equal to net income divided by total sales. So it shows how much we have earned per unit of sale, per dollar of sale. So 5.5% means if we have sold something for 100, we have earned 5.5 rupees in that in those 100. So to make a combination graph, again the principle, you should remember the principle. If the first column is numeric, we do not select it in the first go, so we go with the rest of the columns. So we select both the columns, and then we move on to insert. So initially I start with the column graph. Okay, and you might think that what happened to the profit margin, it is not shown there, and the reason is that in this specific data, the value of the profit margin is they are so small in comparison to the sales. You see sales are in 15,600 and profit margin is 0.005. So 0.005 is so small that it is not shown on the graph. So don't worry about that. Now, once we have selected, we have inserted the column chart, we can now right click inside the chart area and we will change the chart type. So I'm changing it, and you can see there's a whole bunch of different type of charts that you can use. Many of those we haven't, but they are pretty they are made pretty much using the same principle as we have been using. Now the last type is the combo, and Excel is clever enough to pick what specific series should be put where, but if it is not the case, you can change the chart title here. So for the sales, we would like to have columns, and for the profit margin we would like to have line. And in the chart area, clustered column, then we have clustered column line on secondary axis. That is what we would like to use. So we will use the profit margin as the secondary axis, and that's all. Okay, so our first axis you can see are the sales revenue. So we, in this specific graph, we have two y-axes. Normally we have one y-axis, but in this case we have two. The first one is the sales, which are shown in absolute values, and the second axis here toward the right of the chart is the profit margin, which is shown in percentages. Now, one last thing, we need to change the year labels. So in the horizontal x-axis label, I edit and then I click, select the year values, and now our chart is complete. Okay, so how useful is this specific combination chart? It is useful. We can see how our sales volume is behaving and how our profit margin is behaving. So we can see that the profit margin, as the profit margin decreased, we had lots of sales. So in year 2002 and 2003, we had quite larger sale volume, and those were also the years where the profit margin was at the lowest level. But as we kept on increasing the profit margin, the sales volume decreased. And this is the case right now, nowadays, with the sales of smartphones. As the companies are increasing their profit margin, you might have observed that in the recent years, the mobile companies have significantly increased the prices of their mobile phones. So they have increased the profit margin. But with the passage of time, the sale volume of the mobiles collectively around the world have been declining. So this can give you a quick idea whether how should you go about pricing your products. So in economics, you might read the monopolistic competition, where the monopolist has two options to increase or to reach an optimal level of production. Even though he is a monopolist, he can set one thing at a time, either to control the quantity demanded or the price that he charges. So if he charges very higher price, the quantity demanded decreases, and if he charges lower price, the quantity demanded increases. So he can then find an optimal level of production where his profit is maximum. So this specific combination chart has shown to us that we have been losing sales due to higher margin, but at the same time, if our ultimate objective is to have maximum profits, so we have to identify the optimal level. So that was a side topic, but anyway, it gave us a good context where this specific chart will be useful. So I'd like you to have some practice on that, and if you have questions, then please feel free to ask me. Thank you.